Hi, my name is Shanika Hudson, and today I'm doing a speech on voting. It's actually a persuasive speech. So, I'm going to talk to you today about why it's important to vote, the electoral colleges, popular votes, and elections. Voting is important because we live in a country where we have a democracy. Democracy is a government system that chooses and replaces government officials. This is done by the participation of the people. A democracy is ultimately designed for the people to choose their leaders and hold them accountable for what decisions they make and the things that they do. Which brings me to accountability. Accountability allows the people the freedom to criticize their elected leaders. Elected representatives are considered to be public servants of the community because we elect them and we have the decision on who gets to be our local leaders. They should also listen to what the people think and also respond to the people's needs and their suggestions. Some components of our democratic systems are electoral college. Electoral colleges are the institutes that officially elect the presidents and vice presidents into office. There are five advantages which Richard A. Posner believes that the five reasons to keep the electoral colleges are: one is certainty of outcome. Um, you can't dispute, or they're less likely to dispute the outcomes. Every president has, the second one would be every president has to have the national appeal. So it's everyone's president. The third one is the swing states. The swing states usually help toward deciding who the president is going to be using those electoral colleges. The fourth would be the big states. They restore political balance. And the fifth one is to avoid runoffs. This is done by the winner takes all method. Some disadvantages are that people do not ultimately decide who the president is going to be. A small group of electors do, which are the local representatives that we elect into office. The electoral college violates the principle that every vote counts, or votes are equally or count equally. The winner takes all method makes it difficult, really, for a third party, a candidate, to compete in the the presidential election. Popular votes are really what the people think. Popular votes are votes that tell which candidate the people favor more than the other one. So according to the nationalpopularvote.com, nationwide popular elections of the president is the only system that makes all states competitive in presidential elections, guarantees that the candidate with the most popular votes nationwide wins the presidency, and makes every vote count. So some of the disadvantages of popular votes are that it might be a bit discouraging for the president to win the popular vote but not win the electoral votes because the electoral college is voted differently. So you should really participate in all elections, local and presidential. Local elections are put in place to elect presidents, well, not presidents, to elect representatives who look out for the best interest of the people. If you're voting for the local office representatives, then ultimately they have the same beliefs that you do because you vote them in office, and they have different characteristics that you like or you agree with. So these representatives help the people to obtain the president that they prefer. Elected representatives control the electoral college or the electoral votes, which in turn they decide who the president is going to be, and ultimately they have the same decision as you because you voted them into office, or you voted them into their position in your local community. So if you elect a representative that believes in the same thing as you, like I said before, then they ultimately probably back the same president that you have in mind, or you have, or you favor, the same way the popular votes do. So ultimately, really, they're helping you make your vote count. Voting at a presidential election shows the nation which candidate everyone favors. So even though it really doesn't count that you voted during the presidential election, because you voted somebody into office and because you're showing them the candidate you prefer, it helps toward obtaining the president that you would like to be in office. If you don't vote for local representatives, then really you're hindering you getting the president that you would like to be in office. So it's best for you to vote for, you do all the elections, because if you vote for the presidential election and you vote for the local candidates, then it'll most likely turn out the way that you would want it to turn out. So today, I hope that you've learned something, even though it's probably not that much information. You ultimately probably learned why voting is important, because of the democracy and the accountability. The college, electoral college, which I told you the disadvantages and the advantages. Popular votes, which I also told you the disadvantages and the advantages. And the elections, which are local and presidential. And I hope that through this persuasive video that you would consider to vote if you haven't already, or to change your mind about voting, because voting does really count. If it doesn't count for anybody else, it counts for you, so that you know that you did decide who you wanted to vote for, and at least you used your voice and put your opinion in there. So thank you today for listening to my speech, and I hope that everybody has a better understanding about voting. Thank you.